Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and behold, I have just bought the cheapest... The cheapest Subaru Impreza in the USA. Yeah, it was just a Honda, nothing to really worry about there. Anyway, welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and I bought the cheapest Subaru Impreza in the USA, and we are on our way to the Wizards to find out, well, everything that's wrong with it. And there's now a few more things wrong with it. Wizard!
What'd you bring today?
I brought you a 2007 Subaru Impreza. I had a little mishap. There's a Honda outside that I kind of bumped a little bit.
Oh my God, the wheel's all the way to the back.
Yeah, that's no big deal. You can fix that with a new, tie rod end or something, right?
Tie rod in?
Yeah.
Probably the subframe's ruined.
Really?
What were you doing?
I was just driving and talking and filming and YouTubing. Okay, now this is a joke. So the Subaru is going to power something that's really beautiful. Unfortunately, this thing was on its way to the junkyard. I saved it just for the motor, which has bed head gaskets, which the Car Wizard is going to remove for me, and then it's going to go into something very beautiful that's going to show up here in a few weeks.
Very
so
beautiful.
We'll throw it to you and me 2 weeks into the future. Hello, future self, you handsome devil, you. Oh, well, thank you, Hoovie. You're making me blush. Well, it's been about a month and I've had a chance to review the footage, and that was a violent accident. Massive, horrible, but intentional accident. The Wizard let me hit his Honda Prelude that his daughter actually wrecked. She didn't have a license, took it out for a joyride and lost control. So that's why he let me hit it, because it's total frame damage, all that stuff. And since this Subaru was already pre-wrecked, well, why not hit a few more things? But still, I didn't mean for it to be that huge of a wreck. It was supposed to be like a light side swipe, but I ended up mounting the wheel of the Prelude because the fender is off of it, so sort of a wheel-to-wheel action where I almost rolled the thing over. I actually posted that wreck out of context on Facebook a few days ago. If you're not following me on Facebook, you're making a big mistake, because I'm going to do a lot of things there. Watch parties, we're going to look at old videos, that kind of stuff. So click the link below, follow me on Facebook. But anyway, I'm fine. The car is all taken apart. The engine is out of it. And now I am looking at, well, the beautiful thing this wrecked car's engine is going into. And it is the most beautiful thing I have ever bought. Oh, yes. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, might as well. So this is a brand new 2020 Beck Spider. It looks like a classic Porsche of the 50s, the one that James Dean drove and was killed in, but it's actually a brand new car, and it's not a real Porsche. It's just made to look just like one. And it is one of the most beautiful cars probably ever made in all of history, and they've been building these as replicas for, well, 30 plus years. I ordered this thing in December 2018, so it's taken going on 2 years to get this thing, and I was getting a little antsy and frustrated and impatient, but now that it's here, my goodness, you can't rush art, and this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Now, the seed was planted to buy one of these back in 2018 when I got engaged, and my wife and I were in San Diego, and we rented one of these on Turo. It was a Beck Speedster, the more bathtub shaped one, but it was the same builder. It had a Volkswagen engine in it, and it was just so much fun to drive. It was so beautiful as well. So I went on their website and clicked around, and when I realized you could do one of these Becks with a Subaru flat boxer 4-cylinder engine, I was immediately sold, because the Volkswagen engine, well, it's more correct to the period. It certainly runs and sounds like a Porsche engine of the 50s, but it's pretty crude. A modern Subaru engine out of a 2007 Impreza would totally transform this car, not only making it a more reliable, serviceable engine that runs smoother, but also a lot more power. Back in the day, this Porsche new in the 50s would have had around 100 to 110 horsepower. This one will have 180 horsepower. No, I'm not doing the turbo one. They said they did do a few turbo models, the WRX engine in these cars, but they said it's basically a death trap. You wouldn't want 300 horsepower in a car that weighs basically nothing. That's why I don't need the Wizard's help with this thing, pushing it around. I can push it into the garage myself, and the Wizard and I can talk about this and show the engine as it sits, along with the rest of the cars and the hoopty progress inside. So off we go. Yes? It weighs nothing. It's like my kid's Barbie Jeep. Wizard! Hello, Wizard. Wizard!
It's a micro machine.
It's the most beautiful thing I ever owned.
I honestly think it's probably the most beautiful car you've ever purchased.
2020.
2020.
Beck Spider. Yes, it is a work of art, but it is a non-running work of art for now. You've been working hard on the Subaru engine,
Yes.
and we'll show where all that goes here in a little bit. But first, tell me what's going on with the Bentleys. The dueling Bentleys. Wizard,
Oh, sorry.
what are you doing?
I was trying to stare into its soul. It's so cute.
Okay, back to the Bentleys. It is very cute. It does have kind of a Herbie-esque presence to it, doesn't it?
I have the famous stare that I can do.
All right, Bentleys, Wizard.
Yes.
So, 1991 Turbo R with 100 pounds of Wizard dust on it.
Yep.
This fuel distributor is still kicking your rear end, huh?
Yep, that one's actually off of a 560 SEL. I'm trying to do this without purchasing a new one because they're so expensive.
Yes.
And I'm just not having any luck. I tried to take your original one here apart and see if I can reseal it and put a new gasket in it, and it didn't do any better.
Didn't do any better. So
No.
rebuild doesn't work. Used one, that was a shot in the dark, doesn't work. But it's
Yeah.
the same out of a Mercedes, huh?
Yes, identical.
So I'm biting the bullet on over $1,000 worth of fuel distributor, it sounds like, huh?
Yes. Well, I don't want to bite the bullet. I want to find out what's going on. That's why I'm doing this, and it's really, really aggravating.
I see. So Bosch K-Jet is not your friend anymore.
No, it's not my friend anymore.
Well, let's compare it to the Azure, which has a totally different fuel setup, and it's all torn down right now. Same engine, basically, from the 70s until the mid-2000s,
Yes.
but man, did they evolve it.
Oh,
and,
so much better. Way better.
oh, Wizard, I love your land yacht.
It is. It's getting a U-joint put in right now, but it is so nice after a hard day's work. It's just float on the way home.
Yep, so treating you well.
Yes, it has been.
And here's the Azure with the normal fuel injection, electronic ignition, and leaking brake pumps all the way down there, huh? So that was the big leaker right
Yep,
here?
that one was the big leaker. The other one was just barely starting to. But we got the new O-rings on and put the shells back on. We got to start reassembling. It's going very well, actually.
So these brake pumps are kind of important because they control the suspension and, well, the brakes.
They are
so
your brakes, yeah.
when they go out or it runs out of fluid from a leak like that, you're in deep doo-doo. So very important on these cars, a very common failure. We had to do it on the Turbo R, of course. And now the Azure. But the Azure is not nearly much of a goner as the Turbo R was, yes?
Yeah, I can work on this all day happily. The other one is very aggravating.
Cool. Well, how's the Woody doing? My 51 Ford Country Squire, which will fit right in with the Porsche, huh?
We got your old vacuum ran wiper box off. It's been converted to electric.
Nice.
And we're rewiring your actual dash. This is a little Bluetooth amp with the little controls. It's going to go down here.
Nice.
You'll be able to connect your phone and listen to music through. This is actually bolts directly into the old speaker location, but it has instead 2 kicker speakers.
Interesting.
It'll sound really good.
So it looks very stock,
Yes,
and it's just a Bluetooth player, and you can keep the old radio in there just for decoration.
just for looks, yeah.
Nice. And we have the speedometer that's good going back in.
Yep, this was your dead speedometer. And this one's your nice new one.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, Wizard, well, let's talk Spider, huh? Well, Wizard, my car is about as long as your Grand Marquis is wide.
It's a pretty small car, it definitely is.
Yes, an itty-bitty thing, and this is the donor engine out of the Subaru, an Impreza engine that's kind of the right shape as a Porsche engine back in the day, or old Volkswagen engine, and it actually had bad head gaskets, among other things. That car was wrecked, rusted, wheel bearings, lots of issues, and bad head gaskets. So this thing was going to the junkyard no matter what, no matter if I hit your Prelude or not. But it looks like you've torn it down, you've cleaned it all up, made it pretty. New heads?
Brand new heads.
Yes.
New timing belt, new water pump, all new pulleys. We have gone through it and replaced everything that would be part of servicing it or taking care of it. So
But the bottom end is still the original
Yes.
150,000 mile. So it has the heart of the hoopty in the most beautiful car ever. So it kind of fits what I do, I suppose.
yeah, I think it really does.
So Beck was kind enough to hand deliver this one to us. Apparently we're the first people to ever try to assemble one of these as a Subaru. Plenty of Volkswagen ones have been attempted at home, but Subaru ones shouldn't be nearly as bad as the LS swap though, eh, Wizard?
Oh, I can tell already it's going to be 10 times easier.
And they even go to the trouble of mocking it all up for you. So as you can see, the transmission is already mounted in place. This is a Volkswagen transmission. We don't have the adapters, the flywheel, any of that yet. It's coming soon. But then they just welded in kind of like the engine was there just temporarily, so you can kind of see how it'll go, and also to make it a full roller. Already comes with the brakes and a lot of the wiring. And all the lights supposedly work. The lights, turn signals, all that stuff. Of course, the interior is just beautifully finished.
Very, very cool. There's the high pressure fuel pump. There's a low pressure one in the fuel tank to transfer up to this, and this is like an accumulator for fuel.
Ah, so if you're going in a corner, it won't lose fuel pressure,
Right,
I suppose.
that's why
Yes.
they did that. Yep.
Nice.
One single oxygen sensor.
And the exhaust there, which is already kind of fabbed up, ready to go.
Magnaflows.
Yes, and the spare, just like the original, mounted in the back. Obviously the engine will rest here, but frame-wise, very simple, but this is how simple it was back in the 50s with the Porsches. So
It really was.
They even threw in a battery and plenty of fuel line. It looks like way, way more than you need, huh?
Yeah, there's plenty there.
Yeah. So down she goes very gently. Oh God. So it has the latches down here, but also the belt buckles, they're an option. They don't really do much with the latch, but this is kind of like a boutique car. You can select all the options you want, just like, well, ordering a new car. So I picked the color, I picked the interior, I picked the Nardi wood wheel, and the leather straps, and the seat belts for the shoulder harness rather than the lap belts, which I'm not sure how safe those are, because you probably want lap belts if you're gonna roll over. I don't know. I feel better with seat belts, I guess. But overall, the fit and finish is just absolutely unreal. And that's why when you see one of these in person, you kind of do a double take and you go, well, surely it's not real. But you really can't tell up until you get close and, well, start knocking on it. Because that is fiberglass.
Also, when you see the badge and it says Beck.
Yes, which you can swap out for Porsche if you want to, if you really want to be a poser. And the thing is, I fit. It's surprisingly spacious, you know?
It wouldn't be for me.
Well, it's enough. You could get around.
My big derriere would squish your seats.
I can actually shift through the gears, hit
Yeah.
the brakes. It has some brakes. They need to be bled again. But this is as complete of a roller as you can get. I mean, it's just right of a project as far as something you could do yourself and not be totally in over your head, I suppose. Well, I'm not going to be doing it myself for probably 10% of it. I don't want to screw it up.
You don't want to screw it up?
I like to watch, Wizard.
Yeah.
I like to watch you
can help,
do
though.
it. I'll help, but mostly I like to watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so the fuel tank, which you don't even really need to look at because it has the quick release like a race car in the hood. And I assume brakes and clutch, the
Brakes and
reservoir's
clutch. And there's your coolant reservoir.
there. I see, and a little pouch for the top.
Yes.
So the soft top fits in the nose. How practical.
This kind of reminds me of the old Myers Manx, but a lot better.
Yeah, a lot better. The quality of this is unbelievable. It's
The idea of it, though, is the kit car, and you put your own motor in it.
Number 2557. So 2,557 of these on the road, Wizard.
Wow.
That's a lot for a kit car.
I would think a few hundred, but they've had thousands, I guess.
Yep. All right. Yes, gentle. You're waiting for me to slam it, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Wizard, even if we don't get this thing running, I wouldn't be disappointed because it is just art.
It's so beautiful. It could really set in a large house living room, just sit there.
I really want to know what it drives like, though.
I bet it drives really, really awesome. It's so small and light.
I wonder how it drives on one Wizard power.
Slow.
Oh, yes. It has a very smooth torque curve, Wizard power. And like an electric car, that smooth power is also really quiet. Maybe not that quiet. Oh, yes. To drive an open-top roadster Spider, people wonder if I'm James Dean reincarnated right now.
It does look very Deanish.
Kind of limited to maybe 5 miles an hour.
Reduced power mode.
Yes, he's in limp home mode. Uh-oh, we got a little bump here. We can test the suspension. Not bad.
No, not bad at all.
I can tell this is a very well balanced car. And just the sight, looking through this. Oh, it is so pretty. This is going to be such an experience. Well, it already is. Oh, yeah. Well, I am super excited.
I'm super tired. Whew, man, that wore me out.
So how much do you think this conversion is going to cost?
Well, it's definitely going to cost a little bit more now.
Because you pushed?
Yes.
You're out of breath.
Yes, I am.
Wizard strength has reached a limit, I guess.
It has. It doesn't go on forever.
How old are you?
41.
41. Hopefully we're all that good at 41, really. I can't do it at 34.